It's your girl AB,
And I'm T Dot.
and this is Two Favorite Cousins. Hey, cuz.
Hey, cuz, how are you?
I'm fine. How was your day today?
Good, good, good. What about you?
It was all right. We had a little rain this morning, but then it turned out to be a beautiful day. It's humid as shit, but we got a little rain from that Hurricane Ida, whoever, from Florida.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
heavy rain, and then it just got nice and sunny, and it was all right.
Cool,
How's the
cool.
weather out there?
Hot.
Well, I'm just saying, the rain stopped.
Oh, it been stuff. It don't rain that much here. It doesn't. Yeah, we haven't had rain in a few,
Since
quite a
the
few
last
days.
time we was talking, you said it rained. We were talking
Yeah,
about
we haven't had rain since. So no.
oh, okay. Well, y'all got
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
rain.
So let's get into it. We got a lot to unpack. So, what would you think is the maximum age a human could live?
Oh, I would say 102, 103. There was just a lady on our other episode where you said the young lady that was made 111 that still was doing it. It all depends on how you take care of yourself. I
Okay, so research conducted in the Netherlands has found that the maximum ceiling lifespan for a female is 115.7 years, and for men, it is slightly lower at 114.1 years, but even so, that's a long time. Then they said a French woman, her name was Jean Louise Calment, who lived for a staggering 122 years.
right.
She has the world record. She's the oldest person to have ever lived, having been born in 1875 and passing away in 1997.
Aw.
That's a long time.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Now,
Now I can see on my phone that we have 5 viewers.
cool. Well, hi,
Right.
viewers. Good to see you. Well, we can't see you, but I'm glad you're watching. Now, so you know what I noticed about the news, and I understand, like if you're looking at things on your phone, on your computer, there are algorithms in the computer that if you're looking at certain topics or whatever, it'll continue to feed your news feed or your feed with those things. Or you're looking at certain things, or if you're looking at shoes or blah blah blah, right?
You always get
But
asked
what
to
I
pop up about what you was looking at.
exactly, but what I'm seeing is a trend. And a lot of times when I come into work, I may have mentioned this before. When I come into work and I cut on my computer, I'm not looking at nothing. The news feed automatically pops up. So there's several articles that you can look at and scroll, 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 scroll. But the common thread that I'm seeing is it's heavily saturated with transgender topics, race or racism, which drives me crazy, and migrants, but not so much. Now, there's a whole lot of other things going on in the world, right? But
Yes.
that seems to be the hot button. Now, let me read you this article that I read the other day, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. Now, a judge in New Jersey ruled that three school districts in the state are not obligated to inform parents if their child is transitioning genders. Democrats are fighting to stop parents from learning about their child's decision to transition between genders. Regional school boards initially adopted policies that required educators to notify parents if their child wants to change their gender. In response, Democratic New Jersey Attorney General Matthew Platkin filed a lawsuit against the Middletown Township, Marlborough Township, and Manalapan Englishtown Regional Boards of Education. Now, my whole thing is I'm not really sure what age these children are, but I can tell you this. I probably would homeschool my child due to what's going on in some of these schools
Yes,
because
I concur.
young kids are very impressionable and you don't know what they're trying to mold these. You know what? That's not, in my opinion, not their job. And I wouldn't want my kid if it, to go to some school, and they could be coaching them to be like, you feel like a girl, don't you? You feel like a boy, you know what I mean? So who knows? I mean, there are very, malicious people. I mean, there's some good-hearted people, but I just wouldn't trust it. I would say leave it to the parents, and I'm glad my son is much older, and I'm not in that, in that phase, because that's kind of crazy to me.
And like you mentioned, we have to find out what's the age of these children. You're talking about elementary school, junior high school, high school.
To me, that should be left to the parents. Not, come on, So technically, they're fighting against. They don't have to tell the parents versus the parents are fighting for their parental rights. I don't agree with that, but thank God I don't have a school age child.
Right.
In school.
This world, I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah. Like the show, it's a different world than where we come from.
Okay. Now, remember that story I told you about the sorority house with the females, and there was a transgender woman that they were saying was getting aroused, would watch them and get aroused. So let me ask you, and I wish, I knew a transgender woman personally that I can ask, but I like T.S. Madison. Hopefully she talks about it on her show and would address that. But a transgender woman, so you're a man that identifies as a woman, but so you want to be in the mix with other women, but you still have your male parts, but you get aroused and get an erection?
It's contradicted if you ask me, but hey.
Okay, so the Fox News, a reporter on Fox News, she interviewed these sorority girls because they went to court to fight against it. And the court won't define, now this is the trippy part, won't define woman, the word woman. Judge Alan Johnson in his ruling said that the court would not attempt to define the term woman and therefore could not interfere with the sorority's decision to admit the transgender student. So this is the University of Wyoming. Now, so I took it upon myself, because I had to Google. Now I know what a woman is, but I Googled right? Okay. Right. So essentially, female connotes a biological category, while a woman is a whole human person. As a result, while woman technically is a noun, many are embracing its use as an adjective to achieve a more inclusive meaning that emphasizes gender over biological sex. Now, hold on. I got another one.
Oh, God.
Oh, can I read that? I can't even read it. My eyeballs are bad. Okay, an adult. Oh, so woman, adult female human being. Okay, now hold on. And a female person. But there was another one that they were kind of. So basically, they had a lot of dictionaries to include, the transgender language. But they were saying that it's what did they say? Oh, here it is right here. It says Cambridge dictionaries have been updated for man and woman to include transgender people to broaden its lexicon to reflect evolving language around gender. But I'm going to leave that alone.
But jumping on the back of that comment or this subject, there's a video on Instagram where, now you love UFC fighting or MMA.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do.
There was a transgender woman against a biological woman. Now, how that matchup came, I don't know. But the transgender woman knocked the biological woman out. And people are saying that's unfair. Why would you put those two together as a match in MMA fighting? Because physically, the transgender woman is more powerful and more stronger than, you know what?
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna piggyback on what you're saying. Now I'm gonna show you some pictures. Check this out. You know who that is? Mike Tyson, right? Okay. You know who this is, right? Mm-hmm. The Rock. Do you know who this is?
I do not know,
His
but
name is Brock Lesnar. He is a wrestler.
right.
And he crossed over to UFC, and that's Brock Lesnar as well.
Oh,
Now, the reason why I brought those pictures up is because think of this guy. Now he decides I want to be a woman,
you know what?
and he puts on a wig and
You
he
know
says,
what? Shut up.
"I want to fight in the females
Be quiet.
UFC."
Be quiet.
Is that right?
Technically, it's not, but obviously, it's already happening.
They need to
Maybe not.
rethink that for real. They honestly, I don't see anything wrong, and they're pushing back against this. I don't see anything wrong about having. Okay, you identify as transgender woman. Another transgender woman, y'all fight each other. Oh, you okay? You're a transgender man. You're a transgender man. There's a category for them. Like, what is the
Like you were
problem?
saying before in the earlier episodes, to where they should have a league or a platform to where they can have their own.
Yes, that I don't see
situations going on.
anything wrong with that at all. I really don't see why
I
that's
think,
an
I think
issue.
it's a
I think
brilliant
that
idea,
will
but
solve a lot of the problems. But you want to know something else that I thought about?
what?
Remember a few years ago, ooh, and this is a good one. Remember a few years ago, it was the Me Too movement. A lot of the women that was coming forward and they was rallying behind the women. And that was a good, it was great. It was a good movement,
It was beautiful.
whatever. Right. Now, so now it seems like, to me, it's like, what is this a political? You know how every time, because the election is coming next year. So you know how it seems like when elections coming, they pick these particular
Subjects.
right to push their campaign. Like, is this what's going on?
Look,
Because there's other things we could be talking about: the American dollar, our debt, how we fix it, how people. I mean,
our
prices
American
are
dollar is not going to be in existence
right.
anymore in a
Prices
little
are up
while.
sky high. Prices are sky high. You know how people
Global
a
warming.
couple of years ago, rent wasn't as high as it is. It's ridiculous
Now,
now. So there's
global,
other things we could talk about, but every time you turn that news feed on, they're talking about transgender, race, and the migrants.
we should be talking about global warming, inflation,
This right. How do we fix
homelessness.
that? How do we fix that? So
Well,
that's
you
what
know what? We both got into the wrong line of work. We both should have been in politics because there needs some people.
well, I don't know if I would want yes and no, because they're only gonna let you get but so far.
So
Did you see
far.
that Riza Islam that I sent you? What he was talking about was so deep and so poignant that they're only gonna let you do but so much. You ain't gonna change too many policies. It's not gonna happen. All right.
Okay,
Now,
on a lighter note, I don't know where this concert was, but Miss Chalet, you know who Miss Chalet is, right?
you gave my love. Okay, go ahead.
My heart.
The love I'm giving. Ooh. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, Miss Chalet sparks concerns from concert goers after a performance being high and drunk. I sent
Oh.
you I sent you the
Oh, I have to look at it now.
girl. It was horrible. It's like she forgot the words. But like I said, I was reading the comments, and we don't know. She has been, stop it. She's been through a lot of stuff. She already talked about mental health, the stuff that she went through with that person. You
Mm,
know, so let's just keep her in our prayers and hope she gets the help that she needs.
I hope so.
There
I
you
hope
go. Now,
so.
what you got?
Okay, so did you see the story about um, the football player DeAndre Hopkins' mom? She has a movie coming out. I don't know if it came out
What's he
already.
good for? Because I don't be remembering all this stuff.
Okay, so this is Sabrina Greenlee. She had a domestic violence incident, and this is another picture of her. She
Okay.
had a domestic violence incident about 20 years ago.
All right.
This lady,
Okay.
what is her name? Savannah Grant. She served 20 years. This is her, Savannah Grant. That must be her mugshot.
Okay. I know what story you're talking about. Go ahead.
Right. And this is the football player,
Ew.
DeAndre. And this is him with his mom.
Okay.
Now, her movie is, I believe, called Sabrina. And the Savannah Grant girl and Sabrina Greenlee, they were apparently dating the same guy. His name was Antoine Young. They was
Right.
dating the same guy, and they got in. Sabrina and Savannah got into an altercation.
Oh Lord.
If you listen to the interviews, their account of what happened between the two ladies, something ain't adding up.
Right.
However, Savannah threw some concoction of some acid on
Yeah.
Sabrina
Right. I
Greenlee,
heard. Right.
and that's why she lost her eyesight and things like that. Well, let me ask you this question. I mean, and that's very sad, but one thing I will say, it is heartwarming to see that the son, he persevered through it all,
Right.
and he made it to the NFL. And Sabrina Greenlee, she's still a very beautiful woman,
Right.
and she seems like she has, elevated and excelled, even though she has lost her eyesight.
Right.
So have the question I want to ask you, because this type of things, not somebody, I mean, all different type of domestic altercations happen, but I've been a victim of, you messing with a guy and then the two females, they trying to fight each other instead of them being mad at the dude. Have you ever been in that situation before?
No.
Well, that's great. That's really good, because a lot of times he walks away scot-free, and
Of course.
women,
On to the next.
there it is. So yeah,
On to
but
the next beats.
huh?
I said, that song by Swiss Beats. On to the next. Oh, on to the
Right. But I want to see her movie again. I'm not sure if it's
What's the
out,
name?
but it's
What's the title?
Sabrina, I believe it's called. It's called Sabrina.
You want to be in
And I believe
theaters? You want to be on streaming platform?
I believe it's on Hulu, Amazon Prime, and Netflix.
Okay.
But,
Well,
look it up. Her name is Sabrina Greenlee, and that's a movie that I would be, looking out for.
Okay, now I got something.
Okay, I'm listening.
Manette Shaw, she's the ex-wife of Neo,
Okay.
reveals that she used to have threesomes with her ex Neo, but stops once he requested them too much and said to him, "If you want that, you don't want me."
Hey, you know what? I get it.
Do you think that by her going along with this, however many times that she went along with it, trying to please her husband, and then you giving him what he wants, and then he starts being greedy and asking for it more and more and more, then you'd be like, oh, now you want to, okay, I'm not, where does it stop? Where does it end?
I'm glad you brought this up. I'm glad you brought it, because it's one thing to spice up the relationship and y'all both with it. I'm all for that. I'm really all for that. However, it has to be a compromise on both sides. She ain't saying, well, no, I don't want to do it at all. She's not saying that. She's saying, okay, I'm with it sometimes.
Right.
Now, when he want to be greedy, and not compromise or don't understand, then maybe it is time. Let's say he wasn't Neil. Let's say he was a regular Joe Schmo from around the way. And you have a female that's like, okay, we could do that sometime, whatever. And that's cool. No, that's cool. But you got to know, if you care about this woman, you understand if you care about this woman, then you should care about her feelings as well. She's saying, okay, we can do this. We can do this from time to time. Whatever. But you want to know something too? It has to be an agreement from the door. It has to be an agreement from the door. Well, what we go, unless they did have one and he reneged, or he, like you said, got greedy. But hey, and then she has to make the decision. Either I'm gonna do it all the time, even though I don't want to, or she's gonna have to step away from the relationship because he's not going to.
Stop.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's what the individual has to come to grips and be like, you know what? I'm trying to work with you, but now you going overboard.
There you go.
What do you think? I want to hear what your thoughts.
Well, I feel the same way. We can do this, like you said, once in a blue, everybody's doing. But if this is going to be a every weekend thing or
like who the hell want to do that? Nobody.
I take care of the kids. I gotta take care of home while you out on tour or working or whatever it is that you do. And as soon as you come back, I want to do this. I want to calm. It just seemed too much.
No. No.
But on the other hand, not saying it's right or wrong, but you can't get somebody used to something on a regular basis. And then
I don't agree with that. I'm sorry.
Decide to back out.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it.
Now I don't know what a regular basis was with them or the regular Joe Smo. But like you said, it has to be an agreement.
To come back.
Okay, once a month, or whatever it is. Now, if you went from once a month to every day, now that's breaking the agreement. But it all depends on the couple and what they agree on, and that's their that's their bedroom.
Right.
I'm not in it.
There it is. That's like somebody saying, okay, I want a home cooked meal. I mean, it's different, but I want a home cooked meal every day. And she's like, okay, I don't mind. Or, let's say once a week or once every 2 weeks. And then now comes out, I want a fresh home cooked meal every day. You like, boy, you bugging. You bugging. I'm not doing that. But that's a little bit different. But
that is true. Okay, right. What you got?
Okay, so have you ever? What was the weirdest interview question you were ever asked, or something you experienced at an interview that stood out to you?
You mean an interview for a job?
Yes.
Well, that's the only interview I've ever had.
Huh?
I said, you mean an interview for a job? Was that
for a job? Yes. Yeah.
Oh. What was the craziest question? I don't think I've had anything that was outside of the purview of the job description or what I was applying for. I've never had a question about anything personal or that I can remember.
Okay.
I would think that would be out of line to ask somebody something that doesn't have to do with the job. If it's an interview for a job.
We're talking interview for a job. Now.
Okay. Yeah.
So a lot of times, and this may resonate with somebody. A lot of times people may have been on their job for 10, 15, 5, 10, 15 years, 8 years, whatever. So if you were on your job for a length of time,
right,
the whole how you look for a job back then has evolved.
Yes.
Right? So, or let's say you was on a job and you got either fired or laid off, and now you got to get back out there. You better buy you some books and do your research, because it is different. Even from 5 years ago or 2 years, it's different.
Yes, it is.
So I went on an interview. This was a while ago. I'm not looking to go anywhere, so I'm good. But anyway, prior to this job, I have went on a few interviews. So
okay.
Right now, you figure I've been around. I've been in the job market since I was 14 years old. You better do your research. Now,
exactly.
So, questions that I was asked at this interview, and I'm going to ask you them and see how you answer them. And these are real questions that were really asked to me. Ooh. And it bugged me out. I was kind of like, what the fuck? Okay. Anyway, so if you were a tree, what type of tree would you be and why?
What that got to do with the job description?
That was the question for the job. So
I never imagined myself as a tree. So.
But if you were, what would you be? What kind of tree would you be?
I don't know. A regular tree? I don't know. Who the fuck
Okay,
asked?
I'm gonna ask you the questions. I'm gonna tell you why they asked those particular questions.
Okay.
If you were an animal, what type of animal would you be and why?
What type of animal would you be if you was an animal?
And why would you be that animal?
I guess maybe a lion because I'm king of the jungle now.
Okay. If you were a fruit, what kind of fruit would you be and why? I swear to God, these questions were asked to me.
If I was a fruit, what kind of fruit would I be? I would be watermelon because everybody loves watermelon.
Okay. So all of these I believe they say critical thinking or thinking on your toes to see how you would answer. Because I had no idea these were the kind of questions. I was kind of like, what? You know, but
What y'all got?
when they say what kind of tree, hold on, what kind of tree, they want to see how you think on your feet and outside of the box, but it's
Right.
still correlated to the job. So if you say, well, a maple tree, because you know there's other uses for maple tree, you know,
Right.
it's very resourceful because you can get maple syrup, and I don't really know that many trees really. Oak tree, you know, and then as far as animal, as far as like dolphins are very smart. They're very, you know, adaptable,
They communicate
correlates the
well.
job. And
Right.
fruit, if you said apple, because apples they're useful. You can make an apple pie, you can make applesauce, you can make
Apple
so
strudel, you could.
right.
It's
So that was how they were looking for you to answer. Now,
Oh,
when
God.
I used to work at this particular place or bank back east, I used to do my interviews because it was a special branch. It was a special branch, and you needed to have the right people because it was a very busy branch, and you needed to have the right type of people in that branch because it was busy. Them customers sometimes would curse your ass out. It was crazy. But anyway. So I interviewed this guy, and you didn't necessarily have to have banking experience to work
Right.
in a bank per se, depending on the position you were going for. So I interviewed this guy, and you know, he, like I said, he didn't have banking experience, but you know how they like, well, what makes you want to work for ABC Bank, or what makes you want to work for this company? Do you know what this fool said to me? Girl, you know, I'm being professional. Do you know what this fool said to me?
What?
Now, mind you, his last name was Banks. However, so let's call him Brandon Banks. That wasn't his name, but his last name was Banks. Let's call him Brandon Banks. So he goes,
Okay.
now again, I look young, and I guess he thought he was cute. I don't know what the hell. But anyway, so he goes, well, my name is Brandon Banks. The name speaks for itself. I looked at him. I was like, okay. Other than your name being Brandon Banks,
Right.
why, you know, that this is not your background, which really doesn't matter. But I just want to understand what made you choose ABC Bank.
Right.
I don't remember what the hell he said. And girl, when he said that, he was all like, yo, you know, Brandon Banks. You know, I was looking at, girl, it took me everything not to laugh at his ass because that shit was funny.
It's not like you was related to Philip Banks from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Then the other part was this joker would call like often to be like, well, did I get the job? I had to tell him we will call you and let you know if we will call you. He ain't get no damn job. So you ain't getting no job.
I tell you, you ain't got no job.
Okay. You know what I want to get? Oh, wait, let me show you. So in November, before I get to that, but in November, I forget the dates exactly. He was recently out here, and I just wanted to. They're repaving the streets because they want to have this daggone Formula One race on the strip, going down the strip and around the circumference.
I saw yes.
This is the map of the red indicates
high roller.
Well, the red indicates the layout of how the track is going to be on and around the strip in November.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be interesting. How they gonna? Because people from all over the world come here on vacation, so you can't be like, well, nobody can't be on the strip because You know what I mean? So I'll let you know how it go.
Ooh, child.
But what I want, and there was this wig store I went back when I lived back east in East Orange. It was in the hood, but it was a nice wig shop. And so what I want is a good glueless wig. And I meant to have my when I had my wig before, I meant to have my picture up there so I can show you next time. I'll show you when I had a wig.
Yeah, I'm interested in the glueless wig. So we just put it on. I don't want no
Yeah,
glue.
and it looks nice.
No,
There's some really nice looking wigs out.
I don't need all that fucking baby hair and oh god.
Yeah, when is that going to go out of style? When is
I
that
don't know,
going?
but sometimes it don't even be baby hair. It be half the goddamn wig hair as baby hair. You know what? Because ain't no baby hair that damn thick.
Well, I had went into one wig store and they was like, "Oh, you can't buy the wig." I think they said you can't try the wigs on and you can't
We got
return them. So I'm like, well, hold on, wait a minute. That's a setup to me. Like you can't try it on, especially during COVID. You can't try it on and you can't return it.
Understand that part.
So
But
okay, COVID is over. Okay, COVID is over. So I still can't try it on and I can't return it. How does that work? It doesn't.
Child.
That's why I ain't buy one yet.
Anyway, on another note, I got a story that's sad out of Maryland, close to DC. Oh, wait, hold up. Las Vegas Funtivity.
Go to www.lasvegasfuntivity.com to get your guide. There's a lot of cool stuff on and off the Las Vegas Strip, so check it out.
And well, my last story I'll keep for next week's episode, but it's kind of sad. It's ridiculous.
You want to say it? We got to say it.
Okay. A 16-year-old Maryland girl was stabbed to death following a dispute over sweet and sour sauce at McDonald's. This is ridiculous. According to Fox 5 DC, a group of teenagers drove to McDonald's from a party Saturday evening. After stopping at the 24-hour McDonald's at the intersection of U and 14th Street, a dispute over sauce began. 16-year-old Naima Logan, I hope I'm saying her name right, rest in peace, was stabbed in the abdomen and the torso. She was pronounced dead at Howard University Hospital. Now,
did she die?
Died.
Oh, damn.
Now, the other teenager that was charged with stabbing Naima, she was also 16. She was charged with second-degree murder while armed and assault with intent to kill. The other 16-year-old girl said that it was self-defense, claimed that Naima knocked her to the ground after arguing over sweet and sour sauce. So this is what we have come to with these teens in this day and age, to where everything is a fight, everything is an argument, everything is like over sweet and sour sauce, like really. It's just really, really sad.
That is sad. Well, condolences to her family.
Yes. Condolences to her family, because that was just senseless. And this was right before school starts. Right before school starts.
That's so awful.
And you know what? Something like that, you know what? I think she should be charged as an adult, because I'm tired of hearing about these minors doing crimes, right from wrong. And when something like this happens, we're going to transfer it to family court. No. You had a weapon on you, and you used it for a foolish and stupid reason. Now, 2 lives and 2 families are destroyed. The deceased and her family, and now you and your family, because now you can go to jail almost for the rest of your life.
It's like you said, senseless. It's very senseless.
But like I said, the youth now and the early teens now, they're
off the charts. They off the charts
for authority. They're just fearless. They don't give a fuck. It's just rah 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 rah, and it's just really sad, because a lot of people are not going to live long, and it's sad. Yeah. But like I said, we both want to say, our thoughts and prayers are with her family.
Absolutely.
It's just sad and senseless. But
Anyway, cuz.
AB.
And I'm your girl T Dot.
And this is Two Favorite Cousins. Like, comment, subscribe, get your
share.
Get your Las Vegas Funtivity book. And we will see you next week, same time, same back channel. See you guys.
See you guys. Love you.